What's the cheapest tequila you got? Back, back. And then the more flair you put into it, depends on how much tequila you drink, right? And then
Okay,
you do
so
a little
drunk you in there.
A little bit.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl. We're here at our iHeartRadio headquarters, hanging out at our iHeartRadio bar, by the way, which I love, with Frank Ray.
What's
Frank
up?
is in the building. Let's give it up for
Let's
Frank.
go, baby. Come on. Thank you for setting this up just for me, by the way.
Listen, any
you built this
time.
bar just for me? That's crazy.
It's really tough to have to drink during the week. It's like, this is a tough show
No,
for me. Cheers, Frank.
Cheers.
It's so good to see you.
Salud. You know what we've got to do from where I'm from?
Oh, yeah.
You ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, you got to repeat. It's a four-parter.
Okay.
You ready to repeat after me? Speak
I'm
a little
ready.
Spanish?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
ready.
it goes like this. Pa arriba,
Hasta arriba,
pa abajo,
pa abajo,
pa el centro,
pa centro,
y pa dentro.
y pa dentro.
That's how you do it.
What did I just say?
It sounds prettier in Spanish, but it's just up, down, center, in. See?
Like the cha-cha slide kind of.
That's pretty much it, yeah. But when you say it in Spanish, you're just like, oh, he's
Wait,
so
it sounds good.
cultured.
That's like, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, he's so cultured. No, he's just an alcoholic.
Frank, it's so good to have you. We were talking about this. Last time I saw you was in Austin, Texas for our country festival.
Right.
Now you're here in New York. You're having a great time in New York. I saw on your
Having a
Instagram
blast.
the I Love New York t-shirt in Times Square. You're leaning in.
I went full tourist, yeah, and I didn't care. I wasn't sorry about it. Everybody was. I videoed the first time I walked into like the subway. And
That was your first subway ride?
Oh yeah. I was just like, yeah, and I was so touristy. I had like shopping bags and my phone, and my buddy Lucas, who was playing guitar with me, he was just like, oh God, this is terrible. And I said, am I embarrassing you, buddy? It's my first subway ride, everyone. And they're just like, okay.
Did anyone acknowledge? Did you get?
Yeah, I got a lot of eye rolls. And
They're like, great.
yeah, sure, all right, man, yeah, whatever. But it's been fun.
Well, you're also on tour. You're about to go on tour, but you're playing your new music. Get You Some EP is
Yeah.
out. Somebody else's whiskey. We're celebrating it all today. What
Yeah.
has life been like for you lately?
It's been a whirlwind. It's exciting, of course. It's definitely what we set out to do, and the fact that it's actually panning out. From switching careers in law enforcement to music, it's just like I'm gonna go try to make it, And then for you to actually start being on that path, it was weird. It's weird that it's actually happening.
You're with Old Dominion, which is huge.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
that feel real for you? Do you feel like you're like, okay, this is happening for me?
It's a full circle moment for me, actually, because when I first went to Nashville and started, I got the label deal and started talking with booking agents, they were like, who do you want to go on tour with? And I said, Old Dominion. And they said, okay, we're going to ask you again, And I said, Old Dominion. Do you not, Tim McGraw, Kenny Chesney, anybody like that? I was like, no, of course I'd love to go on tour with them, but Old Dominion, not only am I a fan, but I felt like our music would complement each other really well. And so, furthermore, the reason why I got the label deal was because of a song called Tequila Mockingbird that I didn't write. It was actually co-written by Andrew Dorff and Trevor Rosen. Trevor's one of the Old Dominion guys, and they wrote this song years ago, but it found its way to me as an independent artist. We put it out. It kind of got on the radar of the VP of A&R over at Broken Bow, Sarah Kanavi, and she cold called. And because of that song, and it's the reason why I started this whole relationship with my label now, and it's just really
so this is like a full circle.
Like,
in the details.
Yeah, I told Trevor that story. I said, to you wrote a song, but for me, you wrote
like
the song.
Damn.
And he was like, I didn't know that, man.
You know what? Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
That's
all right,
a
here we
great
go.
way to pick it up. That's so exciting, Frank. That's really so cool.
It's really, really neat. Full circle for sure.
Okay, so we got, again, the tequila song, we got the whiskey song.
Yeah.
I love it. So
All
that
the
inspired
drinks.
our drinking game.
All the drinks.
So this game is called Me versus Drunk Me, and the way this works is I'm gonna give you a scenario, and you tell me if this is something that you would regularly do or you sober would do, or if this is something that Frank, after he's had a few drinks, might do.
Okay.
Drunk Me.
Okay.
If it's Drunk Me, you have to drink, and I'm gonna drink with you, okay? So that way we're not drinking alone on a Monday. By the way, I love that it's Monday at 3 p.m. at
That's
iHeart,
fine.
and I love it.
It's not a bad life. It's not a bad life.
Here we go. All right, Frank, first one. Buy the bar a round of shots. Me or Drunk Me?
Oh, that's Drunk Me, 100%.
Drunk
I would
you?
never spend my money on other people like that. It's crazy. I have a family to support.
What is the drink of choice? What is the Frank Ray special?
It's tequila, usually a shot of Cantera Negra, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Yeah, if the bar carries it.
Okay.
If not, what's the cheapest tequila you got?
Then that can go around.
Yeah.
But you're drinking whiskey today, right? So
I am, yeah. With somebody else's whiskey. It just makes sense,
you
right?
gotta do it.
Yeah.
And we asked you before, our producer Dylan asked, like, if you like ice in your whiskey or you like to just sip it. Like, is that a big thing for you? You do go back and forth?
I go back and forth. It really just kind of depends. If it's an old fashioned, I'll take a cube of ice because it lets all the flavors kind of mellow together. If it's just neat, I like to enjoy it like that a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Look at me sound so snobby.
Oh, this is good because we just talked about this. Me versus drunk me. Start randomly speaking to strangers in Spanish.
Oh no, that's
So you bring
just
out the
me.
Spanglish?
That's
Just
me.
you?
That's me all the time. Yeah, sure. Especially if I notice somebody has a little bit of an accent, then I'm like, ¿de dónde eres, compadre? He's like, oh, soy de Chihuahua, or the Casa Grande, or soy Dominicano, whatever it is. And I run into that a lot here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, matter of fact, we had dinner last night at Carmine's, and
yeah.
all the guys are there like, you want to get a drink and this and that. I thought he was Puerto Rican, and so I started speaking Spanish, and he just like blown away that I was this Italian restaurant that this guy spoke Spanish. But I don't feel like that's a rarity here, but apparently this guy was like, oh my gosh, all the staff members started speaking to me in Spanish. It was crazy.
Oh, that's also one thing I love about your music too, is like you mix English and Spanish in your songs.
Yeah.
Has that always been an important part? Did you always know you wanted to do something like that with your own music?
Yeah, that was always the goal, but it took a while to kind of navigate and try to find how to get there and how to do it in a way that wasn't cheesy, but more so authentic. And it was just it was a weird moment. Like I probably wrote for the better part of a year in Nashville to figure out and break the code. And then we came out with a song called Streetlights, and it was just that song came out because I finally was comfortable enough with these writers that I'd written plenty of times with, and I said, all the stuff I've been writing is like, I'm gonna go down to Mexico and drink some tequila, and it was just like super hokey, but that was people's version of what they thought the Mexican influence in country music is, right? And so I was just like, that's not right. You gotta think Despacito, you gotta think that kind of vibe. And so we said, okay, what do you have in mind? And then kind of just started strumming these little chords, and this whole little groove came out, and I said, that is what we need to write. And so once we broke the code with that and figured out that's the blueprint for any Latin-based song that we're gonna write in country music.
Oh, it's so interesting. Playing those shows live, like have you found the audience? Are they fully singing Spanish back to you? That's gotta be a crazy moment.
Yeah, it's so wild. It's caminando, caminando. It's so weird because like whether or not they want to hear it coming through the country radio airwaves, I'm not sure. I feel like Marty McFly a lot. Like, you guys might not be ready for this, but your kids are gonna love it, right? That kind of thing. But in a live setting, it kills every time. People just want to dance and be entertained and have a good time. And I dance like crazy up there. I've been doing that on tour, and Old Dominion has this huge runway. It's like 62 feet this way and like 70 feet this way. It's just insane. So I have to make a conscious decision. Like, Frank, are we gonna dance today and entertain the crowd? Or are you gonna try to sing well? Because you can't have both. I'm so out of breath by the time I'm just like dad bod in full effect. Yeah, it's insane.
Okay, that was one on my list, is me versus drunk me, break out your best dance moves, but it sounds like that's just you.
Yeah, that's just me.
What is your best dance move? Can you show us?
Yeah, the washing machine, right? This is all courtesy of Selena, right? But she was very famous for doing this whole thing. Back, back, back. And then the more flair you put into it, depends on how much tequila you drink, right? And then you do
a little drunk you in there.
A little bit, but you do a little thing like that. Yeah, it's so crazy. You gotta put some music over that so it didn't sound just awkward.
No, I love it. Cheers.
Cheers. There was a really funny, drink first, right? There was a really funny TikTok that I just did a duet with because I just died laughing about it. But someone was at the Old Dominion concert, saw me doing this thing, and they took out all the audio and just put sneakers on a basketball court. I died. It was so funny.
The internet is hysterical.
Yeah, it was great. I was like,
ridiculous.
who did this? Yeah,
it's so funny.
It was awesome.
Okay, Frank, this is another one I love. Me versus drunk me. Show strangers pictures of your wife and kids.
Oh, that's just me. Yeah, I'll show that anybody. I showed the cab driver on the way over here.
Thank you. And your family is so beautiful. Congratulations. We were just talking about this too. You just welcomed Olivia.
Yeah, Olivia.
How is it? How's everyone doing? How's the family dynamics?
It's great. Everything's great. It's been an adjustment, of course, especially with the tour and me being gone for such a long period of time. I'm surprised my wife hasn't picked up smoking. I just imagine I'm gonna go back home and she's gonna have the baby there
I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, hello there, Mr. Promises. Welcome back home. Yeah, I don't know.
Miranda Lambert, like rusty kitchen scissors in the bag.
Yes, yeah, no, but she's a trooper. She's doing great, and I think she also, my wife, reminds herself that that we watched her 6-year-old just sprout and just you forget, and so she's taking the time to really kind of just cherish this little mother-daughter moment and all the bonding time, even though it drives her absolutely crazy sometimes.
But you're full-blown girl dad now.
Yeah.
What's the best part about being a girl dad?
Well, probably the fact that I like to have nice scents and stuff nearby, like perfumey scents. So when I talk about the bus life and I walk into the room with a bunch of guys from the band, it just stinks. I said, man, all stanky, you
Some
know?
lavender oil.
I do. So I have that peppermint eucalyptus spray, and I spray everybody's shoes, like while
Do
they're
they know
sleeping.
you're spraying? They don't know you're spraying the
While they're
shoes.
sleeping, I just give them a little funk because I don't know what's going on here. But that's what I miss about being a girl dad. They're just like little princesses,
Yeah.
And then you go to a bus full of bobcats. It's crazy.
Y'all are probably the best smelling band on the road there. They're like, why do we smell so good?
Yeah.
It's like, it's secretly Frank.
It's secretly really like, what is this, man? My feet have never smelled so good. You're welcome.
Okay, speaking of feet.
This is like, I have no idea. Like, we should also preface that I don't know these questions. This is just
No,
natural.
this is
This is
hysterical.
happening. Cool.
Okay.
Good vibes.
Me or drunk me. Chug a beer out of a cowboy boot.
Oh, that's got to be drunk me, 100%.
And would you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you done that before?
No, but I would. I just know I would. I'd say yes.
On stage, you do a little cha-cha. Get to the end, you full of
Yeah,
full
it's
beer.
crazy.
What about, do you drink anything before you go on stage? Like, do you have pre-show rituals? Do you like to have a little...
The toast that we did right there.
That's the whole band does that?
That's the whole band does that, and we've gotten everyone that's just kind of been like new to the crew. Ryan Onan, who's with Whiskey Jam, just found himself down in Cancun. He went down there for vacation or something, and they did that toast, and he was like, I know this. You know what I mean? He's like the whitest guy ever. But he was just like, I know this
They're probably
toast.
impressed with his Spanish, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it was, it's a thing. It's going to be a thing now.
And what's your drink? Are you drinking whiskey or you're drinking tequila backstage? Like, what gets you fired up for a show?
It depends. Right now, we're kind of on a bullet whiskey kick, so the
Ooh.
bullet rye whiskey.
Okay.
We'll do that. But yeah, tequila is never within, arms.
It's always
Yeah,
around.
It's
yeah,
never
yeah.
within. What am I saying?
It's
It's never
close.
out of reach.
Yeah, there we
That's
go.
it. It's never out of reach.
Well, that's what we had a couple things back here, just in case
Appreciate that,
we get
yeah.
really wild. Okay, what about me or drunk me? Respond to everyone's IG stories. And I put this in because this is classic me. It's like if I have 2 drinks, it's like I'm responding to your stories if you put that story up for me.
Oh, that's nice. I feel like that's just me in general because
you a hype man on IG?
I'm trying to connect with as many people as I possibly can, and the more people that have been following me and stuff, I want them to feel like they're part of the familia and that I'm not at that point where I'm not good enough to reply to a story or whatnot. So I love
sweet.
it. I take
Okay,
it point.
so-
It is a full-blown process. I'll say that. As soon as I'm done with the show, sit down in the green room and just.
God.
It's insane, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
important.
that. That's actually great. Okay, what about, this one's fun. We're talking about your wife, Emily. Me or drunk me, send a frisky text to your wife, Emily.
Oh, yeah. It's more, it depends on how frisky you want it, but drunk me can send some pretty frisky texts, and I like when she reciprocates.
Should we send one now? Is it?
Yeah, we should. Stand my phone. Again, she's a cigarette right now. So, yeah,
She's
sure,
like,
yeah,
"Great,
Mr. Promises.
okay."
Yeah. Real suave when you get home, huh?
Okay, what about, speaking of your phone, FaceTime the most famous person in your phone. Have you ever had any drunk FaceTimes?
I've tried. No one ever answers, Lainey.
You tried to drunk FaceTime Lainey?
I always try to drunk FaceTime Lainey. I think she's awesome. She's honestly one of my favorite
funniest
people.
person
She's
ever. We love her here. She's hysterical.
Yeah, she's awesome. But of course, she's working super, super hard, so I don't blame her.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not going to answer this, Frank. It's 3 a.m.
Frank, I think at some point you need to wear some of Lainey's bell bottoms. Like, would you ever do that just from
absolutely.
on stage?
Yeah, why not?
love
Why
it.
not? I practically do at this point. Because my jeans are so tight, I have to make a slit anyway, so they go over the boot. So
Your
I'm,
own
I'm
personal
almost
bell.
there, yeah.
Okay, so talking about on stage, me or drunk me, change up the set list on stage last minute.
Oh, God, that's totally drunk me. I
Do
do.
you?
And I'm
Do you-
notorious for it, yeah.
Is your band like, wait, what's happening,
They hate
Frank?
me. They hate me for it. They just wing it. Yeah, especially when we have a set list. It's like, if we play out like Tuscaloosa at a dive bar or something like that, you got to play like a 4-hour set. And so I'm not going to write out a 4-hour set list. I'm just like, let's go.
And you just vibe with the crowd and feel
Yeah,
it out?
and so sometimes I will throw it out, hey, let's do this song, this song, this song. They're like, okay, cool. So they're expecting that. And then we'll get to this song, and before you know it, I'm like, let's do this song. And they're just like, hate you, Frank. But
Do
yeah.
you always start and end with the same song, or like does that mix up too?
Yeah, it mixes up really. Sometimes when I know I'm feeling really drunk and confident, we'll end with like Journey's "Don't Stop Believing," and I say that. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, because it's high. It's a high song. That's why I wear the skinny jeans. It just compresses everything, gets me the high notes.
Really gets you to that.
Gets you to the high notes. Yeah, but that's drunk me for sure.
What about, is that your go-to karaoke song?
No,
Don't
because
Believe It.
it's
Do you
so
sing
hard.
karaoke?
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
My go-to karaoke song. Cheers,
Oh,
by
yeah.
the way.
Wait, now I'm just sipping as if we're having a.
Yeah, let's
I'm
do it.
not playing
That's
the
fun.
game. I'm just like liking this drink. now.
Go-to karaoke song would probably be, it's weird, but it's Chris Young's "Getting You Home." I don't know why. I feel like
that's good.
I've always kind of just vibed with that song.
But that's like deep. That's like the opposite. That's
Well,
like,
I feel like it's right in the it's like in the sweet spot of like baritone range, and so I know I won't mess that up.
Yeah.
Other times, if I'm really drunk and I'm trying to do karaoke and go for a note that I would normally hit, but drunk me can't, it's just like,
You're like, I can't do this.
It's like, puberty, yes.
What about me versus drunk me? Impulse buy something online.
Oh, drunk me, 100%. I bought
Really?
3 Nintendo Switch controllers
3?
just the other day. Yeah, stupid, right? But we realized they're like, hey, we need to play Super Smash Brothers on the bus, and we only have 2 controls, and there's 6 of us. And I was like, I got it, man.
No
Amazon.
problem.
My wife was like, what the hell is this? And I was like, I'm sorry, that
we
was an
needed
impulse
this.
buy. Yeah, and they're bad. They're like neon green. They don't even look cool.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well here, at least it's like fun to play. What's your game? Do you play Mario Kart?
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. Mario Kart. I'm actually a big fan of Mario Party because I love like board games like that, and that's something that me and my kids do at home. So yeah, I got my daughter into Mario Party, and that's really fun.
Oh, that's fun.
Of course, we give her a bunch of bonus stars in the beginning, so she wins every time.
A good dad right there.
Pro
There
tip,
you go,
baby.
good girl dad.
but Super Smash Brothers is our thing. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of reminiscent of like Street Fighter, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
which
fun.
we can't play anymore.
There you go. In honor of New York City, it's obviously cold outside. Me versus drunk me, do a polar plunge or a skinny dip in the winter in some sort of body of water.
No, that's just me.
You would?
I've been into cold plunges now probably for, I don't know, probably like 6 months. And it's just something that again, because I started working out again, I was like, ooh, dad bod's in full effect. Let's start exercising. But then I realized recovery time's hard. So cold plunges are really therapeutic and really good for your body and all this stuff. And so I started doing that. But probably the most notable one was I did a polar plunge in Duluth, Minnesota with the Duluth Police Department. Wow. It's a big event. I had no idea they did it, but I visit every police department that I try to, that I'm in that town for
awesome.
reasons of like talking about our mental health campaign and stuff like that as it relates to first responders. And this particular police department was like, hey, we just happen to be doing a polar plunge this day. Do you want to partake in that? And I was like, absolutely, thinking it's just a little cold trough. No.
It's like icy?
They drill into like 2 feet of ice of Lake Superior. They set up this whole thing because it's like completely iced over. So they drill through to get to the lake, and 6,000 people show up and just jump in.
So how big are they? They're drilling a huge thing.
Yeah, it's huge. It's pretty big. I mean, it's probably like 20 by 12, or 20 by 20 maybe. But it's just a little sheet of ice that they just take out completely, and everyone, they show up in like funny costumes and stuff with their families and this whole thing.
Oh, that's
It's
so
a
cool.
full thing, but I did it with the police department representative of what they, what they represent, and it also helps raise money for the Special Olympics. So it was a really cool event and
that's incredible.
great experience. Super cold though. It feels like you're getting stabbed with 1,000 daggers.
I can barely like turn my, I had to have scalding hot showers. I can barely turn it. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, no, you should try it. You should try it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, Frank. Thanks for that. No, but it's so cool because I wanted to ask you about your organization, Frey, too. Tell us a little bit about that. I think this is really cool that you do this.
Yeah, well, essentially what we're trying to do is raise awareness for not only the general public, but for first responders everywhere that police officers are people just like anybody else, right? There's a man and a woman that put on that uniform every single day to go out and serve the community, and they deal with trauma or bad news on a daily basis, day in, day out. No one ever calls 911 when things are going great,
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
and a lot of times, because we're that type A personality, you compartmentalize, and cops are notorious for that. And a lot of times you resort to, substance abuse, whether it's drugs or alcohol. You also find yourself susceptible to dealing with domestic violence issues at home. And then ultimately, there have been some cases, a lot of cases, unfortunately, where officers or first responders take their own life because they don't know how to cope with that kind of stuff. And so my whole goal is to kind of ring that bell and say, this is a real human issue that we need to address. And it should get just as much attention and be socially acceptable as mental health conversations are in, mainstream pop culture. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish here.
You're right. You don't think about those things on a day-to-day basis. That's like very. And so you were a police officer for how long?
10 years. I did 10 years. And the thing is, there was times where I just go home and break down to my wife because I didn't feel comfortable enough to break down in front of my buddies. And there's this negative stigma that's attached to mental health as it relates, especially to, like I said, first responders. We have this sort of tough guy attitude, nothing's bothering me, and of course the community expects you to be at your best every time you show up to a call, and you should. So, but that also means that you got to take care of yourself. And so my whole goal is to try to make this like a nationwide peer-to-peer support group, make sure that first responders have the resources that they need to seek help, to get rid of the negative stigma that's attached to it, and to also change the public perspective on, humanizing the first responder again.
Yeah, Frank, that is awesome. Honestly, cheers to that.
Cheers.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
and that's very cool. Let's take a cheers, and then I'm gonna
Let's
ask you
take a
another
cheers.
question.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
For those who want to find out about that organization, where can they go to find the information?
Yeah, right now it's still very much in its developmental phases. So we're making every single effort, especially this year, to try to capitalize on and make advancements in it. But the website is up and running right now for first responders. It's frayoc.org. That's FRAYOC.org. And they can go there. There's suicide prevention hotlines, SAMHSA, which is like the substance and alcohol abuse hotline. A bunch of different recommendations in regards to where you can find a therapist near your area.
Awesome.
But what's important about me going and talking to the police officers is that it gets received a lot better when it's coming from someone who's walked a mile in your shoes.
Yeah, it's like I've been there.
Yeah, because you can kind of sort through all the BS and be like, I know you're not okay.
Yeah.
I know because I wasn't okay, and I can't be the only one. So.
Wow.
That's what we're trying to do.
Thank you for sharing that and for creating something like this.
Thank you
and
for
also
asking.
thank you for also creating great music for us to
Yeah,
enjoy
that's
and
the whole
listen
goal.
to.
Yeah,
This has been so fun. Y'all,
Yeah.
can we give it up one more time
Let's
for Frank
go,
Gray being in
y'all.
our
Cheers.
studio?
Cheers. Let's go. iHeart, baby. Thank
We're so
you.
excited for you. All the new music, touring, everything. What else can we look forward to from you this year?
In regards to the EP being out right now, and then the new single coming up, I'm really excited about that. It hit country radio. Hopefully I get to release the remainder of my album later on this year, and I'm so proud of it. It's just the best body of work I've ever put together, and it's just the best representation of who I am as a person and as an artist from start to finish. You get to hear every single influence of the artist that's become Frank Ray, right? And so that is what I'm hoping to put out to the world, and I can't wait for people to hear it.
Oh my, you come back, we're lining up shot glasses.
Let's
We're playing with
go.
your album, we're going back and forth.
It's
Frank
gonna be
Ray,
fun. Let's
everyone,
go.
one more time.
Thank you.
Frank, we're so excited.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
High five.
This is so
Appreciate
fun.
it.
And I learned a new cheer.
There you go. Salud.
Salute. Love it.